The French colonization by Where's My Croissant Productions.
First, we will begin with the way of life for the French. We will begin with the government.
There are three major officials of the government, and they are the Governor General, the Bishop, and the Attendant. The Governor General represents the King in New France and served as a living symbol of the King's authority. The Governor General was the highest ranking in New France and acted as Master of New France in the King's name, and so was responsible for the war planning, relations with the Aboriginal peoples, and making sure other officials did their job.
The bishop represented the Roman Catholic Church in New France and ruled any Catholic churches in the area. The bishop was also in charge of missionaries, churches, hospitals, and schools.
The Attendant acted as chief administrator of New France in the King's name. The Attendant informed the kings of activities in the province and ensured peace among the people. Also was appointed for nobility.
That's cool, but what did the families of New France do?
The families in New France had to work together to survive. This means they were each given roles to help out.
The men of the family who would supply their food for either the farm or hunt for meat. They would also have to worry about the farm and keep it intact. The first priority of the men were to take care of both the family and the farm.
Secondly, the woman of the family took a very important part. Like most families, the woman of the family was in charge of keeping the house clean, taking care of the younger children, preparing meals for the family, and last is making clothing for her family. Most women had 15 children or more to take care of.
The children of the family. They would help out either their mother or their father. This depends on how old they are or what their gender is. An example of this is a 12-year-old boy who would help out the dad with the farm. Most of the smaller children would help out with little things like bring wood to the fireplace and gather maple in spring time. When a boy was 12 or 11, he could do a man's job. The young girls were taught how to cook and maintain a proper household by their mothers.
Whoa, hold up a minute. How did these people come to Canada in the first place?
That's a great question, Shahir. The reason was at first to create a fur trading post settlement. The French had a colonial rule over many parts of Canada. It included New France, which is the colonization around the St. Lawrence River, Newfoundland, Hudson Bay, Lake Winnipeg, and Quebec.
During the exploration, they interacted and met the natives of the land. Collaboration with the local native people was essential for the French, as the natives supplied the French with furs, specifically beaver pelts. Even though this was a big step up for the French, it was a step down for the natives. A given example is how New France had gained more power, while the First Nations had lost power.
The First Nations only gained weapons while the French gained fur, land, and power, an unfair trade. The environment was also affected by losing fur for guns, which was not helpful for the natives' lifestyle. The reason for this was the increased need for animal parts to make clothing, food, weapons, etc. Another material they decided to go after other natural resources like trees, ores that the First Nations did not yet completely understand.
The Europeans also brought a lot of diseases such as bubonic plague and pneumonic plague, which are deadly if not given the proper care.
Samuel de Champlain, 1567-1635, is known for being the father of New France because of the many efforts he made to establish permanent settlement there. He helped found Port Royal and Quebec City.
Samuel de Champlain believed it was part of the duty to bring Christianity to the first people. This caused to perform as a missionary of the Roman Catholic Church. He was also a map maker, which is very accurate even by today's standards.
The people of New France were mostly entertained by musical and theatrical performances. Most of the performances were dances, songs, recitals, and improvised or scripted plays. These are more seen by the higher class people. There was also street plays for the people who could not afford to get into the theater.
Another activity people did to pass the time and or relax was reading books. They would also spend their evening in a pub, taverns, and socialize with people and enjoy their time. At these places, they would play games and bet on their skills.
The religion of New France is the Roman Catholic. They believe in Jesus and the Pope.
Take a look at our model.